Hello, what's up guys? In this video, something big is happening right now. The tension in Nigeria just went up a notch, and this time is not coming from within. The United States is reportedly planning to sanction Miyetti Allah, accusing the group of links to what many are calling a Christian genocide. But this move has opened up deeper questions about Nigeria's fight against insecurity and who is really benefiting from all the chaos. From an interview on News Central TV, we were able to understand how this development could expose the truth behind years of failed negotiations and unending bloodshed. Why are those once feared as terrorists now being welcomed and rewarded? And how can a governor boldly say he knows where these people live, yet nothing happens? And to make things even more intense, President Donald Trump's warning to Nigeria has reportedly rattled the presidency, forcing new reactions and confusions within Aso Rock. Guys, I will let you watch this video for yourself so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Also, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Take a look guys, and remember to share your thoughts after watching.
We're joined this morning by Akikumi Von Thomas. Thank you once again for being here.
Thank you.
I want to make reference to that interview clip that we started the interview with, where there was an argument and Shegumi was being accused of propagating insecurity, basically because of the negotiations that happened with terrorists. And we have seen many people put forth that argument about how terrorists are given some form of unfair treatment, unfair advantage. And once they denounce their terrorism, they are de-radicalized, they're given the best quality of life. But the government would say that is the non-kinetic approach to dealing with insecurity. And Shegumi, of course, believes that it's done everywhere, even in America. That's what he believes. But let's get your thoughts. Do you think that this has in any way further amplified the struggle with insecurity?
I thought of something this morning. If you are not touched by an issue, it's easy to speak a lot of English. The concerns of families that have been touched by these things, or these situations, or this insecurity, they're not understanding amnesty or arrangements we're doing like we're doing, and we're not doing it properly. We're not servicing their conscience and welfare as to their loss. When Bagumi is talking, is there a religious sect from what side doing this damage? There is a claim that damage has been done to the Christians and also to the Muslims. But which sect, which religion is this coming from? Has that been addressed? Enough for the religious bodies that represent that religion to come out to denounce these people, to say they might claim they are part of us, but they are not. That voice is very necessary. But in the quietness of how everybody begins to dilly-dally of how a set of persons will rise up, will go into the midst of these people, go with government officials, go and talk. Well, we say dialogue, but the dialogue makes us to know that we know these people, they know what they are doing, and amnesty or not, they're just going scot-free. They're going scot-free. So I don't see Babagumi he's not an ambassador. He doesn't have that office we have so enriched, so that we have empowered him to always sit to interface for the country. No, he's not in that place. But we've given it to him. But either way, is he addressing the fact that these people are shouting rhetorics from a particular religion that you are claiming this same set of people killing Christians and killing Muslims? Do we agree on that? Maybe somebody might look at this talk on genocide or insecurity from that angle when it comes to religion. That which religion are these people claiming to be part of? And other parties that represent that same religion, have they denounced these people? That no, they might be sounding like our religion, but they are not a part of us. Nobody has done that. Rather, we are going on to negotiations continuously.
So if I hear you correctly, you're talking about the leaders from this religion.
Yes.
And without trying, a number of them have the religion being accused in this instance is Islamist, because they refer to them as Islamist terrorists.
Yes.
So you're saying that you
have they been denounced?
That a number of key leaders in the in the fold of Islam should speak against it and say these people are not part of us. Is that what you mean?
Very strong. Okay. And it's very important. What it will now do, it will categorize their terrorism. That these people are just plain terrorists. They will not use a show of this is the sect, because as they keep amplifying the sect they belong to, do you need to ask a Nigerian to ask you, are you afraid of Muslims? You don't need to ask a Nigerian. They do it. we've not have a public representation of what has been done properly as a secular nation. Are we not a secular nation? What has been done secularly about it? Nothing. So there is this secret and quiet fear about the religion. I think they should do a lot about talking like that, rather than when you keep quiet about it, like you can't talk about it, then we that are not part, or people that are not part of it, they are growing quietly afraid of a religion. So I'm calling out that, look, if these people are not representing your religion, have you denounced them publicly? Let's start from there. Rather than just the public negotiation you go to, and we say they even know where they are. They even know what to say to them. They even bring them out and they say, okay, they've repented. I say, have we answered to the welfare of those that have got, that their families have been involved in this massacre? We need to balance that, because when I was looking at this issue on Trump's tweet, the nation does not owe President Trump to begin to, without even asking them anything. Everybody is shaking and running up and down. What I expect the nation to do is that the government should rise up on diplomatic fronts, on a, they should be coherent to make statements that make people know that these people are in charge. These people know what they're doing. What have you people done? You state it publicly. We know, and we know what you're doing. We know what the government is doing. So you can't claim to be doing what you're not doing. So if they had come out and they had said, this is how far we have gone, this is what we are doing in this and this place, and correction is being made, they don't need to say they are answering Trump. But everybody looking from the outside will say, this nation, they are in charge. So anybody that wants to,
do you feel that they're not, with the way we're doing, with the way we are going now,
Yeah.
since the statement was made and the video by Donald Trump, every quarter in the presidency is starting to talk. Everybody is talking. At first, you even had an SSA who said that the president was going to meet with Trump on Tuesday, just 2 days or 3 days after the announcement.
Okay.
And that statement actually came from the presidency, an SSA to the president.
Okay.
And later on, another SSA who was here with us live debunked that statement and said, no, the president is not going to
They are
meet.
not coherent.
So do you think that this grandeur statement made by Trump has shaken the core of the presidency to the point that we're starting to see what ought to have been done since? Did they have to wait for Trump to speak?
No, they don't have to wait. And you asking me, do I think he's shaking their table? Obviously. He's not shaking their table alone. He's shaking the whole nation. He's shaking the whole nation, which means they are not in charge, which means they don't actually have what to present as an answer to what is being brought public. If somebody is saying something is wrong in your house about your children, and the children come out well-dressed, they're doing fine, you are giving an answer that makes them quiet. They don't even publicly, people will say, I don't understand. What is your business with this family? This family seems to be doing fine.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, your statement earlier, you were speaking to the fact that what they should be doing, what the government should be doing, is aligning on foreign policy and showing what they have done so far. And in response to that, Bayo Onanuga had, on his X page, he had put out a press release from the DSS, and it was said that the title is Terrorism. DSS gives update on prosecution of terror suspects. Then he explains, on November 19, Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court in Abuja will continue the trial of 2 terrorism suspects, Mahmoud Mohammed Usman and Abubakar Abba, who are wanted internationally. He goes on to explain, some of the other things and, gives background to it. And we've seen a number of explanations like this about, we've captured this number of terrorists, we've killed this number of terrorists. And then we've also seen recently the Foreign Minister, Yusuf Tuga, in Berlin was showing the Constitution and telling people that, this Constitution, our Constitution allows for freedom of religion.
Which Constitution?
If our producers have the clip at some point, I'm hoping that we can play
we'll get that
it.
clip.
Yeah, so he says that our Constitution allows for freedom of religion. So it feels like now there's been explanation upon explanation. An explanation that some don't believe, as we've seen the pushback, because if you look on social media, people are tagging President Trump everywhere.
Yes.
Posts.
Everywhere.
They're tagging him to post. So this reactionary, because it seems sort of reactionary move, how better could this have been done? And what can a number of Nigerians don't seem to believe what they're saying.
Okay, let's do it like this. For the insecurity in Nigeria right now, everywhere that is being affected, the people living there know. All you need to make statement of, because even us in Lagos, it's the news we hear here and there, but the people feeling it right now, the people that are suffering insecurity right now, it's not a distance, it's not a dream. It's something that is located at a place. So if you come out and you say there are 16 places right now that are undergoing insecurity. And this is what we have done. This is what we have done. Or you show the chief of staffs talking about their deployment and what they've done and what they've achieved so much that they can prove with facts that this was I think it will address better than telling us 1 terrorist, 2 terrorists. What we're going through is more than that. So you just tell me in so states, at so place, this is what they are going through right now, this is what we have deployed, and this is the result we have gotten. I think that is more sensible to me.
Okay, before we wrap up, I will come to share the numbers that the presidency has shared in this regard. But we have a clip we want you to take a look at. Okay. This Zari, who is, of course, the former national coordinator of the Middle Belt Patriots, as well as President Tinubu's response to all of this drama. Let's take a look and we'll come back.
The task ahead is immense. We are engaging the world diplomatically. And I assure all of you that we will, defeat terrorism in this country.
Where have we been getting it wrong as a nation? Why are we still having this conversation even after many years and several efforts?
One of the key reasons why we are getting it wrong is because of people like Sheikh Mahmoud Gumi. In a clear case of a war, because he's talking about bloodshed, there has been bloodshed. Nigeria has been a theater of war for almost 2 decades. Possibly it is not affecting him directly because most of the casualties, most of the mass murders is that of Christians. He appears to be a negotiator, but to be very honest with you, he has advocated more for appeasing the terrorists rather than advocating justice for the victims. And I think it's important to us because I believe he's an Islamic cleric. He understands the concept of justice. How do you deal with a scenario of people raping women, people killing soldiers, people decimating homes, people sacking communities, but then the strength of your advocacy is that the government should appease them? Where in the whole world, in the history of any war, whether guerrilla warfare, whether military warfare, have you ever found a situation where there is an active bloodshed going on, and then you believe that appeasing the criminals that are carrying out these genocidal attacks and infusing them into the military will help? From the very beginning, when the notion of amnesty, de-radicalization, and integration began, we have never seen a scenario where these repentant terrorists, as they call them repentant, have ever led people to their camps and they were decimated. They have been growing exponentially. They have been acquiring more arms. So that is basically the problem we are having. We are getting it wrong simply because we have managed to create a false narrative. An example is we have managed to compartmentalize terrorism or these Islamist activities to look as if it is only Boko Haram that is doing it. The reason is because the rest of the terrorist groups that are jihadist in nature have been forged into different names. For instance, he's talking about two fighting. There is no two fighting anywhere. It is important also, we would love it if you are able to have an example of one Christian militia that is operational in either Sokoto or any of the Muslim dominant state that have been raping women and killing people, then we can understand that. And at least the Muslims will equally lend their voice and say, okay, whatever it is the Americans are claiming that the Christians are suffering from, we are also suffering from it. And since it is all about eradicating terrorism, then good, come and eradicate them. But I think the problem is not just because there are foot soldiers who are killing people. It is because there are people who are sympathetic to the jihadist cause. There are people who are sponsoring them.
The former national coordinator of the Middle Belt Patriots, Zari Yusuf, and you can see how he was very strongly putting his accusation against Sheikh Gumi and the fact that he's criticized two fighting. He said there's no two fighting there. But I want to talk about the U.S. Congress pushing for sanctions against Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association and individuals and organizations who have knowingly restricted religious freedom. They've talked about visa bans, asset freezing. How important? Do you think that this is important? Do you think that it is necessary? And do you think that this will actually happen?
That will bring about a political undertone, that it's a side of the government that are pushing for what we are going through, whereas what we're going through is public and very clear. So that approach from President Trump, I don't know what to add to it, but it will not help us in this country.
What do you think will help?
Well, when that man was speaking right now, anytime you go for negotiation, I'm a veteran, anytime you go for negotiation, what you need to do is to ask for cause. I've never seen where the cause of whatever they are doing has been stated. So that clarifies terrorism. Now, when you go, on what base do you people meet to talk and negotiate? Is it that we know you are terrorizing Nigeria, we can't handle it for now, let's give you some money so that you calm down? Or this is what you are asking for because this is what Nigeria has done and you are not happy? Because there must be a cause. But I've never seen...
just like the Niger Delta.
Niger Delta, you know what they are. You know how you can go into them and tell them this is not and this is what you should do. If you go to hip-hop, you know clearly what is happening. But for this agenda, it is a strategy that is so structured that foolishly we're just dancing to it like we don't know what is happening. So I still emphasize that the Islamic side of it all should stand up to let us know. If you people are not backing what is happening, then you should stand up, let's know what we are fighting. Because for you people claiming that it's Christians and Muslims that are both killed, who is killing? The people that are killing, what religion are they claiming? If it is Islam, then the Islamic end should stand up and let us understand what we're talking about.
All right, very anyway, interesting discourse there.
I think my question would also be that just not too long ago, a few months ago, in the fight against this terrorism, you had Zamfara State Governor, His Excellency Dauda Lawal, come out to say that he knows the terrorists. Okay. He knows where they live.
He said it publicly.
Yes.
Yes, in a press. He had a press conference. He knows where they live. He knows who they are. He can even watch. He knows when they are moving. As a security expert, as a veteran, when such statements are made in a senior climb, what should be the first point for our security architecture, knowing that somebody who is a sitting governor has made such strong statements? What should we have expected as Nigerians?
There's an obvious conspiracy that has been put as a strategy on this nation, that until the presidency or the government can stand up to say there is no secret agenda over Nigeria as it concerns our safety, I don't think we are safe.
Do you think there's a secret agenda, by the way?
No. A secret agenda is public when even the president cannot stand up to speak. Have you heard which president in Nigeria do you know has the audacity and speaks outrightly? I don't want to name him. That's Obasanjo. That's Obasanjo. Yeah. The presidency, you don't need to be diplomatic if you're in charge of your game, sir. You come outright and you say, this is the problem these people are giving me and they need to go. But you know, a lot of things are just tied up in this layer of amnesty, civil conflict. Let's leave EPOB out of it. Let's leave Niger. We know their problems. Let's not mix it up together. I'm talking about President Trump making a statement towards Nigeria, and it is not Christians and Muslim talk. Who is causing it? It's from the Islamic end. Now, if the Muslims will agree that no, we don't do this, stand up and speak. President can't stand up to speak. The sect can't stand up to speak. When military or governors even want to speak, when that governor came out, I thought everybody will just connect with it, and as a nation that is still safe, that is not under a conspiracy, everybody will say, then what are we waiting for?
He's the man. Let's go to him. He has the information. So let's get the information from him and activate, right?
And sort it out.
And just so we're clear, when you say that you want the Muslims to rise up and speak,
sorry, let me correct that. I'm not talking to the Muslim. I'm bringing out a fact that the problem we are going through, the terrorists are claiming to be Muslims. Everybody, not Muslims alone, everybody should stand up to clear themselves away from these sets of people for them to know they are on their own. So it affects the Muslim religion too. Yeah. So it's a general thing.
So, but are there like key persons? Because I know that there are Christians and there are Muslims that have criticized the acts of these terrorists. They're constantly, because we are all affected by it. But are there key persons or key offices that you think need to take a stand?
First, the presidency. You have a Muslim ticket. The first person that has the greatest voice to speak against this is the president, very clearly. Even to defend and back up your Muslim ticket is for you to rise up and speak, so that we know there is no Islamic agenda all over the country.
Well, I'm just going to take one more question, and my question would border on the fact that Trump has given, it's like Trump has given the Nigerian presidency or Nigerian president an ultimatum.
Can you imagine?
I mean, telling him, if you don't, we're going to act and it's going to be sweet. I was highlighting that with what I saw on Premium Times. Premium Times had gone far into the United States media space as well, following the conversation. And they highlighted that the soldiers are already starting to get excited, that they cannot wait to use the drones. They were explaining the type of drones they're going to use, the one that could hover on the air and stay for hours before it hits precisely at its target, and then it can move back. Also in this country, Mr. Von Thomas, it's worrying, because this same country, we did hear that the United States military team did come in and rescue one of their own.
Yes.
They rescued one of their own. Broad daytime. They came in. One of theirs was abducted from, we hear, Niger, and was brought in within our shores. The American army, the U.S. Army came in, rescued their own, and they left.
Yeah. Without confusion. Without confusion.
But how come it is that our own, here, we can't do the same?
Well, let me tell you the drama we are playing with. The drama we're playing with is this. For Chad, Cameroon, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, those gates, we need to man them very quickly, because you can call a primary school student in Nigeria to say your what's this ID card we have, this national ID card. They were publicly displayed that multiple national ID cards were multiplied and what they call it now? Duplicated, many of it. Almost all of them were not Nigerians. They came in through a gate. We know that politically, that people from other countries were brought in for election, and it was public. It was not hidden. We saw the trucks at the video. It was not hidden. And when you have made a negotiation with such people to come in, because, there was a time that in Nigeria, we just started seeing people were not seen in the southwest, the east, having wheelbarrow, yam, watermelon, and bites, appearing, staying in uncompleted buildings. I challenge a Nigerian to walk up to them and ask them, where are you from? Some of them are so stupid. Some of them are so stupid that they will tell you where they are from. Some of them are so stupid, they will tell you where they are from. That they are not Nigerians. The influx of them came in. The political end of it, or whatever they had in mind, but whatever they were promised as they were coming in, they know with the way they've infused themselves into the country, if they are not giving, it was all what I'm saying is not me speaking out of being a professional. It's in the public. Because most of them said, look, we don't have a problem with you Nigerians. It's your government that gave us guns. That should be taken up, it should be made public, and it should be dealt with. We're not fools. This is psychological warfare that is ongoing, and the strategy is working. So what I'm saying about our borders is the fact that a set of persons have joined us. We are not all totally Nigerians. And if they are going to be useful for a political front of a set of persons, then we are in trouble if those people are the ones in the rule now, if they are the one ruling now. So they can't outrightly agree that these people should leave the country. Am I speaking in parable?
I get your point.
They can't tell them outrightly, leave our country.
We're done.
Because there's a contract. There's a contract. There's a conspiracy on ground. And the side of it that makes me to emphasize why the Muslim side of all Nigerians should rise up and deny these people being part of them is the fact that most of these people that came from all these countries I call Chad, Cameroon, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, I don't see any Christian group in them, or I don't see any cultural group in them. So how should they be managed? Have they been brought in for the religious strength or political strength? Because what our source of insecurity, the loudest part of our insecurity, is from the fact that there are strangers in our midst, and the people that ought to fight them that are in government, that got in through politics one way or the other, are finding it very hard to say, leave our country, because there was a contract they must have had together. They should sort them out and let them go.
Okay, that was indeed a powerful and thought-provoking discussion from News Central TV, shedding light on one of Nigeria's most pressing national issues, the link between insecurity, religion, and governance. From the conversation, it becomes clear that the U.S. decision to consider sanctions on Miyetti Allah and other groups accused of enabling religious persecution has stirred up deep reflection in Nigeria. Nigeria. While some see this as overdue international accountability, others worry it could complicate Nigeria's internal security and diplomatic relations. As security analyst Akum von Thomas noted, the situation exposes a critical flaw in Nigeria's counter-terrorism strategy. The continued negotiation and amnesty for terrorists, often described as a non-kinetic approach. For many victims of violence, this method seems unjust, as it allows those responsible to walk free, while grieving families are left without closure. Another key point raised was the urgent need for religious clarity and leadership. If extremist groups claim affiliation with Islam, then respected voices within the Muslim community must publicly and decisively reject such actions. Doing so, as von Thomas argued, would help draw a clear line between peaceful worshippers and those weaponizing faith for violence. The interview also raised concerns about political accountability. When state officials openly admit to knowing where terrorists live, yet no visible actions follows, it questions the effectiveness and willpower of Nigeria's security system. It suggests a deeper problem, one where politics, silence, and hidden interests continue to overshadow justice and public safety. On the international stage, the US push for sanctions, including possible visa bans and asset freezes, could signal growing impatience with Nigeria's handling of religiously motivated violence. However, analysts caution that such external pressure must be balanced with Nigeria's sovereignty, ensuring that any response strengthens national unity rather than deepening divisions. Ultimately, the discussion reflects a painful truth that Nigeria's fight against terrorism cannot rely solely on negotiations or appeasement. It demands truth, accountability, and a united stand from every leader, community, and citizen committed to peace. Only then can the nation move beyond endless cycles of violence and mistrust. At Niger Star News, we will continue to follow this developing story and bring you verified updates on how these proposed US sanctions may reshape Nigeria's internal and diplomatic landscape. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think international intervention is the right step, or should Nigeria handle these matters internally? Share your views respectfully in the comment section below. We do love to hear your perspective. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe, like, and turn on notifications to stay informed on Nigeria's key political developments and the rising tensions across the nation. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.